Good morning, everybody. I wanted to run through the lab for you today. I thought it might be a little helpful if you saw what you're going to be doing. I just think it might help things go a little more smoothly for you in my absence. So first of all, you should have the packet. And on the packet on the front page, we're going to be going through the first page and into the second page of the lab, answering pages 1 and 2. I plan to stamp both page 1 and 2 as long as they are complete when I get back on Wednesday. Now for this first section here on page 1, there's two things you're going to do. The first thing, part 1 here, is you are trying to find ways to get these three objects, a clear plastic tube, a PVC tube, and a glass rod, all to spin because of attraction. Meaning I can get something to attract with that object, and you're going to record what you did in order to get that to happen. So for starters, in the lab box, you can see a box like this. You're going to find pieces of fur. Don't ask me if it's real. And felt. And there should be a silk piece also. So there's three material types that you're going to have to work with. And then there's a couple other tubes. There is, I think this is one of the PVC tube. Okay. There is a glass rod. Please be very careful. They will break. They are glass. Here's an example of a broken one there. Okay. Metal rods also, and a clear plastic tube. Now what you're going to do is you find in there, hopefully there are two of these little pins. Please be careful. They are sharp. Okay. And you're going to put a little trough on top of it so it allows it to spin. And let's say for the very first example here, it says I want to find out ways to get the clear plastic tube to spin because of attraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up this clear plastic tube and on the little trough here, and it's kind of easier to spin. Right? And what I need to do is I'm going to take the felt, the fur, or the silk, and I'm going to rub it onto these different materials. So here's my PVC tube, the glass rod, the metal rod, for example, to try and get them to attract the clear plastic tube. It's an exploration lab. You're just going to be trying to find ways to, which combinations work. And there's a couple tricks to this. First of all, I would recommend you designate someone in your lab group to be the discharger. So you're going to need to touch the clear plastic tube all over, up and down, because what's happening is we are going to be building up electrons on the tube or the other tube here. We're going to build up electrons, or we're going to take electrons away, right? And the absence or abundance of those electrons might cause attraction. So if you remember from chemistry class, opposites attract. So in one case, one tube might have a bunch of electrons, and the other one might be missing some electrons, and so there will be attraction. So the idea is I would be able to hold up this beige tube up right close to the clear plastic tube, okay, and I would be able to get some attraction. And look at that, I just get a tiny amount of attraction from the tubes themselves, so probably picking up leftover static electricity on the tube from before. But just for example, let's say, okay, ways to get the clear plastic tube to attract. Maybe I'm going to take the PVC tube and I'm going to rub fur on it. I'm going to try that. Totally just dropped my phone. Okay. This is not easy with a cell phone. And if I hold this up nice and close to the glass rod, look at how strong that attraction is right now. And I can get that to spin all the way around. So what I'm going to record under clear plastic tube right here is I'm going to record PVC tube plus fur. That's how I got that clear plastic tube to spin in attraction. All right, and then someone needs to discharge this real good, right? And then you're going to try the felt, discharge it, try the silk. You know what you could also do? You could also rub the clear plastic tube. You might put silk on the clear plastic tube and fur on the beige tube. And here's what's going to happen. There might be, and there will be, a couple instances where you will get repulsion. So this is down here for part 2. And what ways can you get the clear plastic tube, the PVC tube, and the glass rod? So each one of those is putting like the PVC tube in the spinner or the glass rod in the spinner. Okay. How can you get those to repulse? So as you hold it up next to it, okay, I haven't actually charged anything here, but it would cause it to move away and push it away from the tube you're holding, kind of like that. Okay, lots of trial and error. That's what this lab is all about. And there's a couple book questions. Make sure you are answering those book questions there and down there at the bottom. And over on page 2, you're going to answer some of these questions and follow along. But what I do want to point out is you're going to rub a balloon with rabbit fur. Okay? We are going to say, and this is important for the rest of this unit, that we give the balloon a negative charge in the area you rubbed it. So you take that fur and you're going to blow up a balloon and you rub it all over the balloon. We're going to say that that balloon now has a negative charge, meaning that it has gained electrons. It's got an abundance of electrons on it. It's no longer neutral. We're going to say fur on a balloon is considered negative, okay? And you're going to basically run through this, all right? The last little thing here is about an electroscope, okay? It's the last little addition. That electroscope is this guy. So you see a little black box sitting on your lab, and what it has is these cool little gold leaves sitting in there. And right now, this electroscope is in a state of neutral, because if I touch this top, I'm grounding and removing any extra electrons or depositing back to a neutral state. And it asks you to like touch the balloon, I think, to the top, or charge the clear plastic tube and touch it to the top. And you are going to watch what happens to these gold leaves and describe it. Okay? I think that about wraps up the rest of the lab. Just a couple questions about having you do 2 things. One of them is 2 stands together and that kind of thing. Just answer everything as best as you can. This is the first lab of this unit, so things are new, so you answer as best as you can, and I hope you enjoy it. As I said, I will stamp this tomorrow, so you should be able to finish page 1 and page 2. See you Wednesday.